Let me tell you about a woman named Angela. Angela spent 31 years working as a registered nurse in a hospital in North Carolina. Night shifts, double shifts, holidays and scrubs instead of at home. She didn't complain because she had a plan. Every paycheck, she saved something. She contributed to her 401k, picked safe index funds, and avoided unnecessary debt. While others upgraded their lifestyle, Angela stayed consistent. She used to tell her coworkers, "One day, I'm going to retire early and finally have time for myself." At 58, that day came. She had just over $1.3 million invested. Her house was fully paid off, and she had enough to cover her expenses comfortably. Her coworkers threw her a farewell. Hugs, tears, photos in the hallway she had walked through for decades, and the same words everyone hears: "You deserve this. Go enjoy your life." And at first, she did. The first few weeks felt like a reset. She woke up without alarms, made coffee slowly, sat by the window, and just existed. No emergencies, no stress, no constant pressure. It felt peaceful. Then she started filling her time. She joined a yoga class, started baking more, watched documentaries she had bookmarked for years. For a while, it felt like she was finally catching up on life. But slowly, something shifted. Around month 3, she started skipping classes. Not today, maybe tomorrow. Month 5, her days started blending together. Breakfast, phone, random errands, more phone. Month 7, she realized something strange. She hadn't laughed properly in weeks. No big problem had happened. Nothing was wrong on the surface, but something felt missing. By the end of the first year, she was scrolling on her phone for hours, watching short videos, reading random news, but nothing stuck. Nothing felt meaningful. At 60, she visited a doctor, not for physical pain, but because she felt empty. A few months later, mild depression, early signs of cognitive slowdown. Nothing extreme, but noticeable. Angela had done everything right financially. She didn't run out of money. She didn't face a crisis, but she ran into something else, a life with no direction. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Angela's story is becoming very common because we've been sold an idea that sounds perfect on paper. Work hard, save money, retire, and then finally live your life. But no one really explains what that life is supposed to look like, and that's where things start breaking down. Because retirement as we imagine it today is actually a very new concept. For most of human history, people didn't stop working. They slowed down. They changed roles. They stayed involved, but they never completely disconnected. Now we try to compress life into two extremes: work for 30 to 40 years, then suddenly stop everything. And the human brain doesn't handle that transition well, because when Angela stopped working, she didn't just leave a job. She lost structure. For decades, her days had rhythm. Wake up, go to work, solve problems, come home. Now every day was open, and too much freedom can become overwhelming. Without structure, small habits start slipping. Sleep becomes irregular. Activity drops. Time starts disappearing. The second thing she lost was identity. For years, Angela wasn't just a person. She was a nurse, someone people depended on, someone who made a difference. And suddenly, that role was gone. Now when people asked, "What do you do?" she didn't have a clear answer. And that question hits deeper than most people expect, because what you do shapes how you see yourself. The third loss was connection. Hospitals are intense places, but they're also social. Conversations, teamwork, shared stress. After retirement, that entire network disappeared. And unless you actively replace it, silence grows. The fourth thing was purpose. Even on hard days, Angela knew her work mattered. She helped people. She saved lives. She contributed. Now there was no clear impact, no urgency, no reason someone needed her today. And the fifth challenge: her brain had been active for decades. Decisions, problem solving, constant thinking. After retirement, that demand dropped sharply, and the brain doesn't like that. It adapts to what you give it, and when you give it less, it starts doing less. This is why many retirees experience faster cognitive decline, not because of age alone, but because of reduced engagement. Now here's the twist. Not everyone goes through this. Some people actually thrive after leaving their jobs. They are energetic, sharp, engaged even in their 70s and 80s. So what's different about them? They didn't stop working. They just changed what they worked on. Instead of nursing, they might mentor, volunteer, teach, or create. Still contributing, still learning, still connected. That's the difference most people miss. Retirement removes obligation, but it shouldn't remove purpose. And this is where a powerful shift happens. Stop thinking about retirement. Start thinking about financial independence, because they are not the same thing. Retirement says stop working completely. Financial independence says you no longer have to work for money. That's freedom. And what you do with that freedom determines everything. Because if you use it to disconnect, you decline. If you use it to engage, you evolve. Same money, different outcome. So instead of asking, "When can I retire?" Ask, what kind of life am I building outside my job? Because one day, your job will end, and whatever is left will become your life. Build it now. Don't wait, because the goal is not to escape work. The goal is to escape a life with no reason to wake up. Angela didn't struggle because she retired. She struggled because she never built a life beyond her career. Don't wait until it's over to figure that out. Build it now.